Welcome back to the London Christmas Tournament Expert Division opening round, hole number 3. Here we're going to be playing, setting up for a Grizzly bounce up shot using a luminary type ball. You can set this up with a P3 ball and then switch, or you can just set up at the top of the plus 16, whichever you prefer. Adjustment for the drive is P3 plus 10% max. We're going to use 6 top spin, 2 right spin, outer wall right curl, so the right side of the ball is touching the outside of the shot circle. And then we're going to play this either circle drop OP or just before circle break OP. And that's going to depend on what we adjust up to. So, there's varying wind angles here, obviously. And if you get more headwind, you're going to need a little bit more OP. If you get less, you don't need quite as much. So pay attention to that. My average has been around, adjusting from the top of the 16 to right around the 19 or the 20. My suggestion is anything higher than 20, if you pull up to the 21 or higher, then I would recommend playing just before circle break OP. Better to be a little bit long so you can still play the Grizzly shot. 380 here is probably the lowest you can go and still play this shot normally. I mean, you can still get there for an easy eagle no matter what. However, for the best chance at the albatross, you want to drive this, 381 to 385-ish. If you catch a long rollout, you're going to have to use more backspin, less right spin, but it'll still give you a chance. If you roll too short, then it becomes a little more difficult because you can't quite set up where you want. You need, on your approach shot, you need to have, at a minimum, the red ring completely in the fairway, because this is an over adjustment and we're underpowering it. So if your red ring is in the rough at all, then you will hit the rough. And you're going to see here, this was 380 on the drive. My red ring is going to be touching the rough, and if you watch my first bounce, it's going to be very close to the rough line. So the starting position, generally, I'm setting up with base spins of 2 backspin, 2 right spin to start, and then I'll set my red ring on the rough, having the tip of the ball guide roughly 1 square short of the hole. And you want to split this light row in half. If you look here, I'm just slightly left of center, and you're going to see that it's going to come in on the left hand side. I need to be a click or so over to the right here, so I'm just a touch off on this one, but I still drop it, but it comes in left side, and that's just because I'm set up a little bit left. But I set up a little bit left because if I went any further to the right, my red ring would be in the rough, and I didn't want to clip the rough. So the drive can be a little finicky. Better to be long than short, in my opinion. It is what it is. We're playing the adjustment on the drive is P3 plus 10% max, 6 top spin, 2 right spin. APOC 5 and 6, you'll have 2/3 of the blue ring in the left rough at P3 max rest. APOC 7 is 1/3 of the blue ring in the left rough, and APOC 8 is blue ring touching the left rough at P3 max rest. That's for the drive, or the top of the plus 16, whichever you prefer. The approach is P4 plus 10% at slider. If you're using Grizzly 7 or 8, you're going to be short 3 yards. And you most likely will have to place a backspin shot, or you'll have to push up on your Grizzly or play some OP to ensure that you don't clip the rough. You know, it just kind of depends on the rollout you get on the drive. Grizzly 7 and 8 just might just have to go for easy eagle here. Either way, I tell you this, I wouldn't risk going for this albatross if it would cost me the eagle. So make sure you're completely in the rough, and if not, you can set up a little further to the left and then just add some right curl as needed, but make sure your red ring is in the fairway completely. You don't want to, you will clip the rough and you will end up in the bunker if you do not make sure the red ring is in the fairway. P4 plus 10% at slider. Base spin is 2 back, 2 right. That can vary depending on the rollout on the drive. You want the tip of the ball guide 1 square short, half a square left. And we're playing just before circle break under power. Now, if you watch this first bounce, very close to the rough there, right? And like I said, I was a little bit left on my setup, so I come in the left edge. It is a good shot, and it's very makeable. The key is getting the drive to the correct distance. If you get a longer rollout and you're 395 plus, then you're gonna have to completely change your spin set. Most likely use more backspin, less right spin, and it plays a little bit differently. If that's the case, you're gonna have to set up further right because the tree is gonna be in your way, and then you're gonna need to offset it even further left. I would go 1 square left instead of half a square left if that's the case. If you get short, you're just going to have to push up after you adjust or play a little bit of OP and take the easy eagle. Don't blow the eagle on this one, trying to go for, you know, a 1% chance if you get the bad rollout of getting the drop. Just make sure you get the eagle. Good luck. I hope you all get the Albie, and at worst case scenario, eagle. We'll catch you on the next one.